All right. So today we're going to cover chapter 5 out of the textbook. Um, and we're going to start the information as far as the purchasing cycle. We're going to kind of talk about the different stages of the purchasing cycle and how we can save our cost or save our expenses in each stage of the cycle. So let's take a look first at the purchasing cycle. Okay. So in the purchasing cycle, welcome. Go ahead and draw on the number one on your discussion notes, this purchasing cycle, and then we will um, discuss it in just a moment. All right, so our purchasing cycle has 4 stages. Okay. First one is purchasing. After we purchase the product, so think about it. Okay, think about like your own kind of when you go home and you go grocery shopping, you first purchase all the ingredients, right? And then they've got to get to your house, or in this case, in the restaurant, it's got to get to our restaurant. So it's going to be received. So I'm going to call my order in, and then I'm going to receive it at my place of business. Then I'm going to store it. I'm going to put it all away, put it in the pantry, put it in the refrigerator, the freezer, wherever. And then the last stage is issuing, meaning I'm going to take all those ingredients out of my inventory and I'm going to actually use it in production for food. After I've issued all of my ingredients, what do I have to do in order to make more product? What do I have to do after I've issued it and used it all up? I have to purchase again. Okay. How do I know how much to purchase? What's that? Okay, so we look at kind of what's left in storage, okay, and that is called doing our inventory. So after I do inventory right here in this step, then I know how much more to purchase. And the cycle starts all over again. Okay. So when we start purchasing items, we need to know what our product specifications are. Okay. We need to know what our product specifications are. We talked about these briefly in a previous chapter. I believe it was chapter 3. But product specifications have 2 different categories. And they both start with the letter Q. What is one of them? The specific, what's that? The quality, yes, is one. And the other is quality is the aspects, the types of ingredients that we need to order. The other one is quantity, how much we need to order. The quantity, quality and quantity. All right, somebody online, give me an example of an ingredient that we use in the kitchen.
Onions.
Onions, excellent. So our class example is going to be onions. That's what you're going to put there in number 4. Our ingredient example is onions. Okay. So I want you to think about different qualities of onions. Okay. And list as many different qualities of onions as you can think about. Okay. Think back on your intro to foods class where you talked about the different produce. What types of onions? Okay, that's one quality. What type of onion, what size it is, how it's grown. Those are all different qualities. So think about at least 2 to 3 qualities of onions. Those of you online, you can type your answer in the chat.
Hey, Mr. Uminski,
Yes.
with the quality of certain foods and stuff like that, would food miles be taken into account with something like that? Like how far it is, like if it's locally sourced or if you have to like get it out of state or something?
Absolutely. So locally sourced versus not locally sourced. That's definitely a quality. So picture the produce area of the grocery store. What kinds of onions do you see in that area? So you can give me one example of a quality. I heard sourced. Garrett said locally sourced. What else? What's other quality of an onion?
The color.
Okay, so the color. We have red onions. We have yellow onions. White onions. What is different about these onions other than just the color?
Their taste.
The
Good
flavor.
taste.
Yeah, the taste and the flavor profile. Okay, red onions. If you ask me for a raw onions on a hamburger, I don't want to eat yellow or white onions. I prefer red onions as a raw onion, right? So if someone asks me if I'm at a burger place and they ask me if I want onions on my hamburgers, my question is, are they red onions or white onions? If they say white, then I'm gonna say no onions. For whatever reason, the flavor profile is just different. Okay. So locally sourced, the color, what else?
I put the amount of time away from to
Um, so
when you plant them.
So like
let me,
big or no?
so probably like the size of it, you mean like the maturity of the onion,
Yes.
whether it's small, medium, or large? Okay, so we'll say size. I see online we have sweet onions. Okay, good. Anything else?
If it's organic.
Good. So whether or not it's organic. So that kind of goes along the lines of how it's grown, whether it's locally sourced, whether it's organic. Okay. Anything else? Color, size, absolutely. So sometimes we want those little pearl onions. You know what I'm talking about when I say pearl onions? They're like this big, right? They're about the size of like a quarter, maybe a $50, okay? But I can put those pearl onions, if I'm making like a pot roast, I can just put those in whole, right? And then I can serve them just like that. So it adds to the attractiveness of the plate. If I'm making a salsa and I'm just going to be dicing my onions, does it matter if I pay extra money to get a pearl onion versus a large white onion? No, right? So I don't want to buy the extra small pearl onions. A, that's going to be really hard for me to work with and dice, and B, it's more expensive than buying it in larger jumbo bulk. Okay, and then the quantity is just the put it down here. The quantity QTY, there we go, that's what I'm looking for. Quantity is basically how much. Do we buy it in 25-pound bags? Do we buy it in 50-pound bags? Okay, so quantity is just how much. Do we buy it in 5-pound bags? Okay. Why should we know what our quantity amount to purchase is? What would be an issue if we ordered the wrong quantity?
You wouldn't have enough for your recipes.
Okay, so we may not have enough, or we have too much. So what happens if we don't have enough? That means we can't make our product. What happens if we have too much?
Waste.
It could go bad and it could go waste, right? It could go to waste. Absolutely. Do you guys, any of you all ever watch Schitt's Creek? No? It's a pretty funny comedy. One time they were getting into the raw milk business, and her dad told her to order 5 quarts or 12 quarts, I think, 12 quarts of raw milk. And his daughter Alexis, she's a little bit of a ditz. She ordered 12 things of milk, and it was like the gallon size. And so they had 12 gallons of milk. So that's why it's important to know the quantity so you don't have too many extra. Okay. All right. The next thing is number 5 is our par. Our par level is how much we have to have on hand in order to operate. The minimum amount we need to have on hand is the par, okay? And in order to find out our par, we have to determine what our product usage is, okay? Because we don't want to have a whole lot of product on hand, so that we don't have a lot of stuff that maybe goes to waste, we want to make sure we have just the right amount in between our deliveries. So that way we have just the right amount of product to make sure we get through what we need to. And then when it comes time to order, we can order again. And when we order, our goal is to get up to par. Okay, so replenish our supply up to that par level. Okay, so if we take a look at number 6 on our notes page, we're going to establish our par. So there's 2 different ways. One way is the similar daily usage. So if we use the same amount every single day, all we have to do is multiply the daily usage by the number of days in between deliveries. So 6A is multiply. Six B is we need to add. So if we have different daily usages in between each delivery, maybe it's a weekend, we're a little bit busier, so we have to have more product versus something that we're going to order the same amount every single day. That allows us just to simply multiply. Okay, so let's take a look. We have chicken, potatoes, and Bud Light. Okay. The highlighted days, Monday and Friday, are our deliveries. Monday and Friday are deliveries. Okay. So Monday through Thursday. Remember, our goal is when that truck drops off our product at our restaurant, we are up to par. Okay. So Monday through Thursday for chicken, how many cases do we use per day? 2, right? And it's 2 all the way across. So all we have to do is 2 times 4. So my par is 8 cases. That means on Monday, when that truck drives away, because they dropped off my chicken, I should be up to 8 cases of chicken to get me through Thursday. Okay. And now the weekend, we've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Do we have the same usage every day?
No.
No. So now we just have to add them all up. What is 6 plus 6? Plus 2? Awesome. I'm going to do 12 plus 2 is 14. So when that truck comes on Friday and drops off my chicken for the weekend, I need to make sure I have 14 cases of chicken on hand. All right, how about potatoes? What is our weekday, Monday through Thursday? What is our weekday par for potatoes?
450.
450. So 300, right? Because that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, plus the 150. So our weekday par is 450 pounds. For the weekend, what is our weekend?
600.
Yes, 600. So we have 200 plus 250 plus 150, and that is 600. So 600 pounds. And last but not least, our Bud Light. It's the same usage every day. So 1.5 kegs times 4 is 6 to get through the week. And then 1.5 times 3 is 4.5. Can I call up Silver Eagle and say, hey, I need 4.5 kegs of beer? No. So we're going to round it up to 5, right? So round it up to 5 kegs of beer. That would be our par for Bud Light. Okay. And it's okay that we go up to 5 because we're going to talk about in just a moment when we order, we're going to take into consideration what we already have in inventory. So we don't automatically just go ahead and order the par every single time. We want to take into account what we have in inventory and then order what we need to get up to par. Okay. So if you think about it, I might tell the story a little bit later too. Do y'all watch the Kitchen Nightmares show? Anybody ever seen that show with Gordon Ramsay where he goes in and like helps a restaurant get back on track because they're so out of whack, right? There was this one episode where this one restaurant had a signature dish of chicken wings. And so they smoked chicken wings, and that was their appetizer. And this guy would come in every single day and he'd smoke like 50 to 100 orders of chicken wings. Now, we're going to talk about this in a later chapter when we talk about how much to prepare as far as production. But this also kind of goes along the lines of our inventory. Okay. Because what happens if he prepares 100 orders of chicken wings and only 20 people order chicken wings that day? He's got 80 extra orders, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens the next day? He comes in and makes 100 order of chicken wings again because that's what he was always planning on doing. And now he's got 180 orders of chicken wings. So on that particular episode, if I can find it, I'll see if I can find it. But on that particular episode, like they had chicken wings in the walk-in freezer. They had it in like every refrigerator. Like everything was full of chicken wings that were ready to like be smoked or had been smoked already. It was ridiculous. And that's just so much wasted money on product. Okay. So the last thing for our notes page. Oops. Before I do that, let me just do a quick demonstration. Okay. So let's look at our prime rib. Actually, let's look at our duck because it'll be easier for me to highlight. All right. So we look at our duck right here. Okay. The par is 4. So I need to have 4. I go into my inventory, I've got 2 in there. So that means I'm only going to order 2. And so that when that truck comes and drops off, I'm going to be up to par 4. Then on Thursday, my par is 8 to get me through the weekend. Again, I have 2 in inventory, so I'm going to only order 6. I'm not going to order all 8. Okay. And then on Monday, I order 4, or sorry, my par is 4. I have 3 in stock this time. Maybe my weekend wasn't as busy as I thought it was going to be. Maybe it rained and people didn't come into our restaurant. So I only have to order 1 to get back up to par. Okay. So this is how we can control our inventory. If I ordered, let's just do this as I'm going to go a little bit off script. So bear with me for a moment. So obviously on Monday, if we ordered 2, excuse me, we had 4 on Monday, right? Never mind, I'm not gonna go off script because it's gonna confuse you because it's confusing me. If we had ordered, let's say on Monday, okay, we had 2 in stock, but my ordering person hasn't taken RSTO 2301 with Mr. Uminski, and they think I have to order 4, that's my par. So if they ordered 4, when it came in, how many would we have on hand? We'd have 6, right? Because we have 2 already. So if we ordered 4, that means I'd have 6 on hand. Okay. Now when it comes to 8, if I actually ordered the 8, then I'd actually have 10 on hand. You guys see what I'm saying? Excuse me. Same thing here. If I ordered 4, then I'd have 7. If I ordered 8, I'd have 9. Excuse me. Look at how much more product we would have compared to these inventory numbers that are relatively low. Does that make sense? Why we want to control what we purchase. So the last thing we're going to talk about is our lead time usage. Okay. That's the number 7 on your notes page. Lead time usage. So lead time is that time between when we actually order the product and when it's actually delivered. Do we shut down during that time? Do we say, oh, we got to close down? No. Okay. Sometimes we place our order at night and the delivery comes the next morning. So did we have any operations between that time? Let's say I close down at 10 o'clock at night, I put my order in and it comes in at 7 o'clock in the morning. Did I have any operations between then? My lead time is 0. Bless you.
Bless you.
But if I place my order in the morning and then it doesn't come until tomorrow morning, I have all that operation during the day, right? So I have to take into account of what I'm going to use during that time, and that's our lead time usage, okay? That will help us get a better idea of what we need to purchase. So let's go over what lead time usage looks like. Zoom in. Okay, so when you are looking at your lead time usage, this is what I would recommend you do. Okay. So we have our par, that's what we need to have to operate, right? We need to subtract what is in our inventory. Because I don't want to order that product again. Okay. So that's my answer is 26 if I was not doing any kind of lead time usage. Okay. Then I have to add in my lead time usage. Basically, the usage of the product during that lead time period. Okay. So everyone look up for a moment. For the purposes of our homework, AM equals before opening. Okay, so before opening. And PM is equal to after closing. Okay. PM is after closing, which means I either place my order or receive my product before opening or after closing. Okay. So how I would set this up if I were to read this one right here. Determine the amount to order if the order is placed on Monday morning and the delivery is Wednesday morning. Okay. I have it up on the board, but I want to show you how I would draw this out. So I would do Monday AM. Bless you.
Thank you.
Monday AM, and then the delivery is Wednesday AM. Okay. Remember, AM means before we open.
Mhm.
So then I'm gonna put a little check mark because that means Monday I'm gonna have usage because I placed my order before we open. And then we have Tuesday in the middle. So I've got a check mark there because I'm going to use product all day on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, my order is supposed to be delivered before I even open. So I don't have any usage on that day. Okay. So how many check marks do I have?
2.
2. So my lead time usage, which you can see on your notes page, is 10 bottles per day times the 2 days. I'm going to add 20 bottles to my order, like you see right here. So when I place my order, I'm going to say I need to order 46 bottles. Questions, comments, concerns? Yes, sir.
What is the lead time times 10?
The lead time is, so in this case, our lead time is 2 days, right? Because Monday during business and Tuesday during business, that's the lead time is 2 days. And then if you look at the example at the top, it tells you what my daily usage is, which is 10 bottles. And so my lead time times the 10 bottles per day is going to be 20 bottles per lead time usage. Okay. Let's do another one. All right. So my par is 24 bottles. My daily usage is 10. And inventory, I have 6. Okay. In inventory, I have 6. So let's go ahead and get this first one started. We have 24 bottles as our par. And in the inventory, we have 6. So what is 24 minus 6? Okay. Follow me so far? That's great. We have 18. Perfect. We can move on. Well, not so much. Let's look at our question here. Our order is placed on Monday morning. So right here we do Monday AM. And the delivery is Tuesday AM. First question, are there any days between Monday and Tuesday? No. So there's nothing to fill out in the middle, right? Because it's Monday, Tuesday, we're good. Are we going to have service on Monday? If we place our order on the morning, are we gonna be open for business that day? Yeah, okay. So we place our order before we open, which means I'm gonna have usage during the day. But then that AM on Tuesday, my order is delivered before we open, so I'm not gonna have any usage on that day. So how many check marks do I have? One. So one day is my lead time. My daily usage is 10. So that means my lead time usage is 10 bottles. So I add those two together. And I get 28. Any questions, comments, concerns about that one? Andre, so your question, so Monday, so when we say Monday AM or Monday PM, we're not necessarily referring to the shifts. We're just referring to when we place the order before we are open or after we close. So if it's before we open, that means there's not going to be any business conducted at that time. If it's in the PM, that means that we've placed our order after we're done conducting business for the day. So I think the next example will demonstrate that. So let's take a look. One thing I do want to point out on this one right here, our inventory is 6, right? What is our daily usage? 10. So what does that mean? There's a potential we might run out because we have less in our inventory than what our daily usage is. Okay. It may work out perfectly and we don't use all 10 bottles that day. Okay. But just kind of as a manager, as you're thinking about it, oh my gosh, there's a potential we might run out today. So that way we might start thinking about a plan of action for that.
Emergency run to the store.
Yeah, maybe, hey, you know what? This is a key recipe for our menu. Let's just run to HEB and pick up 4 bottles before so we don't run out. Okay. All right. So now here we go. This is I think Dre, this one will give you an idea of the AM PM. So our par is 500. We have 200 in inventory. So what is 500 minus 200? 300. Okay. So now let's take a look at our problem statement here. The order is placed on Tuesday night and the delivery is Thursday morning. Okay, so the order is Tuesday PM. That means after we've closed. The delivery is Thursday morning, Thursday AM. Is there a day between Tuesday, Thursday? Which is? Awesome. Let's add Wednesday in there. Okay. So now if we take a look, if we place our order on Tuesday PM, that means we've closed for the day. Are we going to have any operations on Tuesday?
No.
No, because that means we're placing our order after we're already done with Tuesday. We're not going to have any usage. Wednesday, are we going to have any usage? Yes. Now Thursday AM, the order comes in before we open. So we're going to have any usage on Thursday? No. So my lead time usage is only 1 day. So if you look at this, if you saw Tuesday to Thursday, you would automatically think, oh my gosh, we have like 2 or 3 days of usage. But in reality, based on when we actually order the product, this is only 1 day of usage. I place my order on Tuesday after we're closed. So then all day Wednesday, I'm going to have product usage. And then Thursday, I'm not because the delivery is going to come in before. Okay. So I'm going to add that 150 of daily usage for a total of 450 pounds to order. Questions, comments, concerns about those? Okay. There's a couple more examples for you to work out on your own. Okay. But let's flip to the back page where it says calculating par. Okay, so calculating par. Chester's Hamburgers uses 250 pounds of Idaho russet potatoes every Monday through Thursday and 400 pounds per day, Friday through Sunday. Okay. Deliveries are made twice a week, once on Monday mornings and once on Friday morning. So calculate the weekday and weekend par with a 10% safety factor. Okay. So on the weekdays, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, how many pounds do they use per day?
1,000.
Okay, so per day is 250 pounds per day times 4 days is equal to 1,000 pounds. Okay. And then sometimes we might include a little bit of a safety factor. So in this case is 10%. And what that safety factor means is we're going to add just a little bit more to our par just in case we're busier than we think we're going to be. Okay. It can't be a whole lot because one, we may not have the storage for it, but also we don't want to order too much because it could go bad. Okay. So if we multiply by 1.10, because remember, with the 10% safety factor, we're going to go up by 10%. So 1.10 gives me a weekday par of 1,100 pounds. That is my weekday par. Oops. Okay. Questions about that weekday par? All right, let's look and see what our weekend par is. 400 pounds per Friday through Sunday. Okay. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is 400 pounds. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 400 pounds times 3 days is 1,200 pounds. Multiply that by 1.10. Remember, again, the 1 is the 1,200 pounds. The 0.10 is that 10% increase. Okay, so we'll get 1,320 pounds. You all agree? Make sure I did my math correct. Any questions, comments, concerns about the weekday par and the weekend par?
How did you get the 1.1 part again?
Yeah, so we're asking for a 10% safety factor, which means we're going to order 10% more than what our actual daily usage is, just in case we're a little bit busy. So that one, that remember that's just showing an increase of 10%.
Okay.
We could do 1,200 pounds times 0.10, which would give me 120 pounds. And then I could add that to my 1,200 original and get 1,320. So that's the 2-step process. This is the 1-step process. All right. So now what I would like you guys to do is on your own, I'd like you to answer these last 2 scenarios. Okay. These last 2 scenarios. The manager prepares for Friday morning delivery by conducting a physical inventory. They notice there's 300 pounds of potatoes in inventory. How many pounds should they order to get through the weekend? So determine the amount if the order is placed on Thursday AM and the delivery is Friday AM. And then the next one, the manager prepares for the Monday morning delivery. They notice there's 600 pounds of potatoes in inventory. Determine the amount to order if the order is placed Saturday after closing and delivery is Monday morning. Okay, so answer those two and then bring your answers up to me, or those of you who are on Zoom, you can type yours in the chat and I will double check your work. This information, our weekend par, based on, bless you, based on the previous information, was 1,320 pounds. Okay. And our daily usage is 250 pounds. Because if we order on Thursday AM and Friday AM is our delivery, then yes, we're gonna have usage on Thursday. No, we're not gonna have usage on Friday. So if my par is 1320, I have 300 in inventory. Subtract those, I should order 1,020 pounds. But because my lead time usage is 250 pounds, remember Thursday is 250 pounds Monday through Thursday. Okay. So because I'm looking at Thursday usage, it's 250. So the reason why I put this problem in here, you have to think critically. Okay. We're using our weekend par, but we're using our weekday daily usage. Okay. So I order 1,270 and I divide 1,270 divided by 50 pounds. I get 25.4. So I'm going to go ahead and order 26 bags of potatoes. Okay. Round that up to 26 bags. Then my weekday par is 1,100. So if I order on Saturday PM, that means I'm not going to have any usage. It comes on Monday AM, which means I'm not going to have any usage. But on Sunday, yes, I am. I'm going to use product. Okay. So my par is 1,100. I subtract my 600 in inventory. And then because I'm using 400 pounds of daily usage on Sunday, I should order 900. And 900 divided by 50 is 18 bags. Okay. So this is just another way that you have to remember, what am I going to use on those days that are lead time usages in order to calculate our ordering correctly? Okay. So let's take a look real quick at Canvas. All right, so on February, am I in the right class? There we go. Okay. Excuse me. So coming up, we have your menu set number 2, the rub recipe. I think I changed that in the wrong class. So it should be the 24th. Should have been today, but if not, you'll have an extra day to do it. I'll leave it as the 25th. Your math bridge, I have uploaded everybody's grades who they sent me the reports. There's just a few people who haven't done math bridge. So please double check that you have that complete. It's not gonna necessarily be late if you turn it in by next week, but It's just a reminder that I don't want you to wait till the end of the semester to get it done. All right, so then Monday, March 17th, which is after spring break, is your purchasing formula and par homework. That's what we just went over today. So while it's fresh in your head, I would recommend that you go ahead and go over that. Okay, and go ahead and do that and get it done. That way you don't wait until after spring break to do that. On Wednesday this week, we will go over a little bit more about ordering. We may jump into chapter 6. So if you could please do me a favor, I know that we're not supposed to do chapter 6 until next Monday. But if you could go ahead and just watch the chapter 6 lessons for me, because if we get done with our activity on Wednesday, we can at least start the discussion about chapter 6. Okay. Other than that, that's all I have for y'all today.
Which one is in?
No, that's just for your notes so that you can use it for your homework. Any questions before I end the Zoom meeting?
Yeah, Mr. Uminsky, what is that math bridge thing? What is it that you need us to turn in exactly?
You don't have to turn in anything. If you already did it in basic food prep, it'll count for this class as well. The math bridge is essentially like an online review for your math skills of like ratios and percentages and that kind of stuff. So if you haven't done it, you should see a math course, an MATH, somewhere in your Canvas courses for this semester. There's directions on how to do the assessment. You have to score a certain grade on the assessment in order to be exempt from finishing the math bridge.
Okay. All right. So if we don't have that course, I mean, I'm pretty sure I already did it though. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't miss out and that I
Well,
didn't need to turn in anything.
check your grades in the grade book, because if you have a 0, if you don't have a grade for math bridge, that means I have not seen that you've completed it. But if you have 100 for math bridge in the grade book, that means they already told me that you already did it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The homework on Canvas?
It is, yeah. You're welcome. Any other questions online before I end? Thank you all so much. Have a great day.
Sir.